you here are parents? Put your hand up for me. Okay, so imagine you have been working all week, you've paid your bills, which is amazing, but you're left with just £3. What do? Do you feed yourself, or do you feed your children? This is a question more and more people are having to ask themselves every week. Imagine having to ask yourself this question every single week. Behind me, a video has just played of 1,000 faces. That is a lot of faces. But that is only 1,000 of the 2.4 million people in April who went an entire day without being able to feed themselves because they couldn't afford to feed themselves. For me, this is something that's really close to my heart. And as I talk about it, I'm doing my best not to cry. When I was younger, I remember my mum struggling. I remember her giving me some shampoo, putting it on my hand, because that was all I was allowed to use to wash my hair, because she couldn't afford shampoo. That was a luxury. And more parents in the UK are having to make these tough choices. They're having to choose between heating or eating. So how do we begin to solve this problem? Introducing And. So And is a two-part solution. The first part is having parents come to a community hub. At this community hub, they will be able to get a nutritious meal to solve, or maybe not quite solve, but to at least help with that immediate need of hunger. But whilst they are at this hub, they are going to learn how to begin to break the cycle of poverty. We are going to show them how to do this by showing them how they can turn their skills into a business, so they can bring more income into their household. Now, we don't want to just help these parents at the hub. We want to be able to support them away from these local events. One way we are going to do this is through our online platform. With this online platform, these parents will have access to resources, training, and personalized mentoring, so they can learn how to turn their skills into a business to begin to break this cycle and bring more income into their household. How do I know this is possible? Well, just a few years ago, I was struggling to pay my bills. But since then, I have turned my expertise into a business that in a few years has generated over 7 figures. I want to help other parents to be able to also break this cycle of struggling every single month, having to choose between heating or eating. Now, on Thursday night when I came up here, as nervous as I am today, as I do this, people in the audience voted for this idea to go into the top 10 so I could come back this evening and pitch this idea to you. You believed in this idea. But it's not just you who believed in this idea. Yesterday, we, in the space of a few hours, raised £20,000 in pledged donations from other people who want to support this. On top of that, we also raised 120 hours from business mentors, coaches, therapists, and business owners who want to support this every single month. We know we can't just rely on donations, so after today, we will be going away, doing fundraising, and applying for funding. We've also spoken to a local charity. This local charity already has volunteers, infrastructure in place to go around to supermarkets to collect food they would usually just throw away. We can use this food at our local meetups to be able to feed these parents. To begin with, we will start locally to prove we can do this, to prove this concept, but over time, we want to be able to move it into other locations. It's not just a charity, it's an opportunity to begin to break this poverty cycle.
Hi there. Thank you for the amazing presentation. That was great. We did have some questions, but I'm just going to straight away go into the donations you said you have had pledged in this time. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, luckily through starting my business, we now have a very large network of business owners. And we only contacted a handful of them yesterday, and all of them came back pledged thousands and thousands. And we still haven't actually heard back yet from a lot of the people that we have connected to. And it's just a tiny fraction. Like, we did this in a few hours, so could you imagine what we could do if we had weeks, months, and even years?
Wow, amazing, amazing. We were wondering, you know, in terms of the things that you would be trying to offer here in terms of food for people to eat and the courses, is there
I can still hear.
Is there like a core competency for that? Is it the food side of things, or is it the sort of courses side of things? Like what will separate you from everybody else?
So yeah, over the last 54 hours, this is a big thing. We've actually been going between the two. But the issue at the moment, a lot of the places, the charities, the organisations, the people we spoke to, there's so much help for the unemployed, but there's very little help for the working poor. I'm a great example of this a few years ago when I couldn't pay my bills. So we were deciding between the food and then the mentorship and the courses, but they're equally as important. These parents need a meal. They're starving, they're going hungry, but every single month they're going into that month overwhelmed, stressing. But we want to actually break that cycle. We want to give them a solution where they can get that immediate need met, but to stop them going into every month panicking through the support of the courses, the training and the mentorship.
So if they're parents, they've probably got children that they might need to bring along with them, would you be able to look after the children somewhere whilst having them to see them?
Yeah, so over the last 54 hours, we've been looking at all of the different costs, including that. At the moment, to begin with, we're looking at times that would be most suitable for parents, but also considering the cost of having professional volunteers who are able to come to these events to support anyone who also has children there. We've worked out at the moment the average cost of each event will be between 160 and 170 pounds, which means if we did around one per week in a local area, it's going to cost around 1,100 pounds for the year.